thing.
I got a feeling that this episode's gonna be a good one.
Fuck that all up.
Dude, I was ready to join you in harmony and then you just fucked the lyrics up.
That this episode 4, y'all.
Cheers to episode 4, man. We're back once again, early in the morning. This is very early.
Episode 4, which was actually the first Star Wars movie to come out, called A New Hope.
Back to the Star Wars references.
We gotta keep it fresh. We gotta keep that true.
Yay.
The legacy of Star Wars will continue on forever. To my nerds out there. Yo, if you a nerd, drop me a comment, yo. Let's talk about it. I will respond.
I don't think you're a nerd. I think you just like what you like.
Thank you, Kelly. That's the most supportive thing you've ever told me. No, I'm kidding.
No, it's not that.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. We support each other because we're a family.
We support nerd culture. Nothing wrong with that.
Tariq, why are you sitting so far away from me? You can put a whole person right here.
He's leaning into his
You guys want to
face.
hold hands?
Put two
I don't
people.
necessarily like people near me, and two, I mean, Frank.
Well, you can solve that problem very
What's your
easily. It's
name?
called deodorant.
Ooh.
Oh, look at you being funny today.
Ooh.
Little army jacket.
All right.
Cheers.
Spicy.
Okay.
Cheers.
Greg
Cheers,
is on
my
it.
friends.
Yeah.
Listen, man, first of all, you guys are matching, so shout out
They
to y'all.
always match.
I know.
Shout
I
out
feel
to
like
y'all.
we're all matching though, because you have one green
Nah,
too.
but y'all are
Bro, look at
matching.
your socks.
Yeah, but y'all are matching.
Are we really matching?
Y'all got the blue and the green.
Yeah, like you have on like leopard print and you have on camo. It's like you're in the jungle together.
Yeah, it's like you guys are in
It's
B-
like we're part of like an African
you
militia.
guys are in like B2K together. You know,
my
where
God.
they kind
we're
of
I'm
part
going
of-
to
they
the
matched but
reunion
didn't.
tour. Oh my God, B2K reunion tour.
Oh.
So
It's a
excited.
big thing.
I'll go.
I can't
I'll definitely
wait.
Oh, they're doing a tour.
Will you
reunion
really?
tour?
go. Come on, I'm an
Me
R&B
and,
head.
me and Chanel are talking about going.
I just know. Listen, man.
Can you give me a reference to one of their records?
I can't do this
Oh
shit again.
no.
Are you about to ask us who's B2K?
Nah,
Now,
bro,
I know who
not
B2K
even.
is, but I just
No.
need one reference.
Okay.
No, you don't. If you know
Cookies and
B2K
cream. Cookies and cream.
That's
That's
112.
If this microphone wasn't so difficult to take off, I would have walked the fuck
I
out.
know, literally. You.
Okay, B2. First of all, wait, hold on. Back up. Cookies and Cream was a group called 112, and I know you grew up.
and yeah.
I know you grew up in Tanzania. He said Cookies and Cream.
Hold up. Let me
I
tell you
didn't even
something.
notice
I
that.
think that was just a poem.
This is-
Surely by the non-knowledge. It's okay, babe.
The
It's okay.
non-knowledge. Wow.
But B2K, you should know. I guess you weren't.
I
ever,
just asked.
you weren't
for
ever
one-
really an R&B head. I think we've established.
Oh,
I
Layla's
just-
giving you love.
I just asked for one song.
Okay,
Just give me one song.
uh-huh.
Do you know one song?
Bump, bump, bump.
Bump, bump, bump.
I know bump, bump, bump.
How'd it go?
Put the cocaine on the table, and I will take a bump, bump, bump. Right?
All right, he does know bump, bump, bump. Kind of.
Close enough.
See, I'm a R&B head, so I'm like a gots to be B2K fan. I loved Omarion's solo record, first
Omarion's
one
solo
that was
shit
slept on.
Nuts.
Was that what Icebox was on?
Icebox was on the sophomore one. The first one had Touch
Oh, yeah.
and O,
Dun, dun, dun.
O,
Touch.
which was underrated for it was ahead of its
I was
time.
a Little Fizz
Icebox,
fan.
Icebox was definitely his best record, though.
Yeah.
It was his best, but not my favorite.
Icebugs.
Icebox was a great song when it hit, but then I think they played it out.
Who else is on that B2K
Omarion
tour?
did a song with Diamond Platinums, who's an amazing Tanzanian artist. So
Yes,
big
he
up.
did.
Big
Omarion
up
did a
Omarion.
song with Tiwa Savage too.
Oh, he did?
Yeah,
He's
a
on the
remix.
Afrobeat
He
shit.
got a couple Afrobeat records.
Yeah, and he did something like even before that. Like he did something on his own, something like "You Taste Like Chicken." It was supposed to be an Afrobeat record,
Yeah,
but
I know what you're talking about.
you know what I'm
Tastes
talking
like
about?
chicken.
Yeah. He
It's
said
not,
something.
it tastes like chicken, though. It's definitely not chicken.
He said, "I love my women like I love my chicken."
Greasy and fried, but I don't know.
It was something. It was something ridiculous like that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different ways to have
breast
chicken,
and
bro. there you go.
But I think who should be on that tour is,
Can you,
can we pull
Can
up the
someone
tour?
pull the B2K tour, please?
Greg, why do you have that computer there?
So that
I can look at
Van
myself.
can control it.
I definitely think, as much as Shad Moss is a really interesting gentleman,
Lil Bow
who
Wow.
is that?
I
Yeah.
think Bow Wow. Well, no, his name is Bow. He's not Little Bow Wow. You know what? I think we need Little Bow Wow on the tour and not Bow Wow. The issue is that ever since he dropped the Little, he's become a complete.
Yeah, but he was a child star. I think when
become
you're
not
a
as big.
child star.
Bow Wow was in B2K.
No, but he did an album with Omarion.
Oh, gotcha.
And they used to tour together all the time.
No, nice.
Yeah. So this is like, is he on that tour?
No, Yin Yang Twins is.
No, that's a.
Yeah,
dope.
whisper song, nigga. You heard
Yin Yang.
I'm about to.
Guys, I recently found out, and I was a little disappointed that they are not actually twins.
I think we all knew that before.
I was convinced they were twins.
I thought they were twins.
They
for
looked
mad.
very similar.
I was upset.
They're
I
both
was
ugly,
upset.
but they don't look similar at all.
Straight, that's not nice.
That's not nice.
The fuck, they ugly. Look,
Hey, Yin Yang
Why are you
twins.
judging?
I don't think you're ugly.
Why are you
Yang
judging
twins.
me?
they might
think
think I'm
you're
ugly.
really-
It's okay. Like I'm
No, they're probably not gay. I'm just kidding.
Anyways.
Welcome.
Who? Right.
Chingy!
Oh, Chingy.
I do
Chingy
know
was
Chingy.
definitely big in that era. That's a big.
Oh, this is gonna
That's
be
big
the
for
best
Kelly.
tour.
I
Oh
like
wait.
the way
Oh
you
wait.
do that right
Oh wait.
there.
Isn't Lloyd on that tour as well?
If Lloyd's on that tour, I'm gonna pass out.
I don't see him listed on the official Instagram.
Let's start a petition to get Lloyd on this tour, please.
If he's not, we need a.
We need a petition to get Lloyd
Yeah.
on
So right here, right now, will you guys go?
Pretty Ricky
Pretty Ricky?
I'm down.
Oh, this is gonna be the best tour
and
ever.
Bobby Valentino, which we saw in a random spot like a little
Fun
while
fact:
ago.
I worked on one of Bobby Valentino's projects when I was in college.
That's dope.
Bobby Valentino's best song is the Slow Down remix, which was not heavily publicized, but it's on the album.
I really
down.
liked.
That was
I just
Tell
wanna
Me
get
with-
to
with
know
Wayne.
you.
Unless you're really a real Bobby Valentino fan, a real one would know Blackberry Molasses when he was in this thing.
we
Word.
just saw him at a show
That's a throwback.
At the Mint.
in LA.
Excuse me.
Our friend Kiara was singing background for this girl, and they brought out Bobby Valentino.
Kiara the Voice. Shout out. Big up.
Big
We
up.
have such a dope tribe of artists that we vibe with out here, and obviously, as the Wave, the four of us, we're a tribe too.
That's right. Tribal
The
units.
tribe within the tribe.
Yeah, man. R&B is so important. R&B is so important. I feel like we dive into a couple genres. I think our new stuff definitely leans towards R&B
Yeah.
more than our old stuff, which I love because it's always been my dream to be like really R&B focused. Even if you incorporate a lot of hip hop, a lot of our other influences. Obviously, we have the Afro beats, pop, even some EDM we include. You know what I'm saying? House. You feel me?
A little bit of 4 on the floor.
Yep, a little 4 on the floor, but
Rap.
rap.
Why'd you
Three.
say it like
Hip
that?
hop, yeah. Rap. Cause I got hip hop and also rap. But yeah,
Hip hop and rap are different.
Rap is part of hip hop.
we can talk about it. We can talk about that.
Rap
No,
is what
we
you
don't have
do.
to, but-
within the context
I was
of
having
hip-hop,
these
right?
discussions when I was in college. When I was a social,
Hip hop is the overall umbrella.
I used to be
Nice.
adamant.
Rap is one of the things.
I used to be
Yeah, that's what
adamant.
I'm
I was
saying.
just like, yeah, there's a lot of rap going on, but it ain't that real hip hop though. I was that guy.
those people
I
so
was that
much.
guy. I was
Wow.
mad conscious.
I hated those people.
But now I'm just like, you know, it is what it's all the same.
And
It's-
now
it-
you are
yeah.
in a.
One of the worst things to ever hear is to be at a show and somebody say, "Where's the real hip hop at?" That
That was me.
bothers me. Oh,
Betty was like, right here.
That was me. I was on stage like,
Everybody's gonna be like, shit.
if you love real hip hop, put your hands in the air. It's like, oh, come
Yeah,
on.
man.
She did.
no one, everyone's gonna feel a lot of pressure to be like, oh, me, I love the real hip hop. That's what I thought. Exactly.
Let's get lit.
I would have like singled out the person who like maybe just didn't hear me, like, you don't like the real hip hop?
No, I'm actually paralyzed.
I'm just, oh, my bad.
That happened at a Kanye show, no? He like
Somebody in
yeah,
a wheelchair, yeah.
someone in a wheelchair. He was like, I'm not performing till you get up. And like,
Oh, for real?
And like,
Yeah,
he
that was a
he
rumor or
was
something
paralyzed
like
in a wheelchair. And anyway,
Kanye.
That was a lawsuit.
Big shout to that guy in the wheelchair.
What was that? That sounded like a B2K ringtone about to start.
like Santa Claus, I had B2K posters up for way too long into college.
Nice.
But yeah,
Really?
yeah,
You had B2K posted up into college?
sophomore year.
Lil Fizz was
I
your
really
guy.
did. Lil Fizz is my guy. I love Lil Fizz. And they used to promote Janae Aiko as his cousin, so I specifically loved her from that period as well.
She definitely
Yeah.
was an offshoot of B2K.
Yeah, she was. Lil Fizz's cousin, but
Yeah.
I don't think they're actually cousins.
I promote Gregory as my brother.
People like naturally think they were brothers.
Bro,
It's kind of funny.
after a lot of shows, people are like, yo, you and your brother are a problem. I'm just like, oh, word. Yeah, my brothers and my sister, you feel me? It's like, yeah, man, but your brother, nasty. I'm just like, that's crazy.
People say that. Yeah, one girl came up to me and the other
other day. She was like, "Your brother rejected me." I was like, "Wait, what?" I was like, "Who's my brother?" First of all, she's like, "You know, the DJ over there." I think this girl was like heartbroken. Talk to your brother for me, like.
Oh God.
Evidently, you broke her heart.
Yeah, I don't know. Some people
Just send her my way.
Oh yeah. Send nudes to them.
Some folks get the wrong idea, but hey.
What happened? What actually happened? Did she walk up to you and she was like, "Yo, what's good?"
I think she was, first of all, I think she was trying to request too many songs, and I was just like, hey, I'm in the groove right now, you know? That's the thing, because I was in the groove. And then eventually, I think I played Aaliyah, Rock the Boat, which is, I love playing if I ever, sometimes it's hard to be a DJ, especially if you DJ at night or too late, because there's a lot of pressure to play hits and for people to turn up. That's why I like DJing early, or I like DJing at spots where it's just like a little unusual, so I can just play the vibes, you feel me? But I played that, and I think that really affected her, and I think she was really trying to like spit at me, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm actually unavailable, and she's like, and I think that broke her heart. And
so you're unavailable?
Yeah, I did. I mean,
that's a funny way to say it. Currently unavailable. Please come back later.
Yeah.
Like you're not home.
No, I didn't say those. I don't know if I said those words, but I said something quick because I was like about to transition, and she was just like, she was like, she did one of these. She did one of these. So I put your number, and I was like, oh, and she was just giving me a look, and I was like, oh, I'm actually unavailable.
I have a cell phone.
But I felt like that covered all the ground I was trying to, because like I'm unavailable to do that right now. I'm also unavailable to be in a relationship with you. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, she thought we were brothers. A lot of people think we're brothers.
Speaking of Aaliyah, I need my segue. You see how I just did that? How I just went like that.
I'm gonna remove my shoes.
Speaking of Aaliyah, recently the Surviving R. Kelly hit the airwaves. I want to know.
Yeah, I mean that's been a story for a minute. Yeah.
So what is this? What is this? Who's R. Kelly?
That needs to be recurring, bro. That needs to be recurring.
Somebody told me that.
But you know what? Some kids these days actually don't know who R. Kelly is, or if they know who he is, they only know about those type of headlines and that type of story.
It's a damn shame. It's the same thing for Michael Jackson for some people.
So let's get into R. Kelly, Michael Jackson, and let's get into the topic of, because this is something I really want to talk about.
No. I want to keep Michael Jackson out of it.
No. But listen. Let's talk about separating artists from their art.
We can start there.
Because we can talk about Mike, we can talk about Kels, we can talk about Kanye.
Not this Kels.
No.
You can keep my art and my artists together.
Facts.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's that.
Word. Who would like to start? I can start.
It's just so
Kelly can start.
That before we started recording, we got a little riled up, so this may get.
That was an altercation. But behind the scenes, we'll never show it to you. The bottle was broken. That's why Chris wasn't here. Chris was very passionate about his side of it. Started swinging.
We can talk about separating art from the artist. My thoughts on separating art from the artist. I feel like I'm talking straight to the general public. Hey guys, how you doing? Can you separate the art from the artist?
What's your position on that? And is it an extreme position, or is it kind of circumstantial or conditional?
I think it's definitely conditional. I think in certain cases, I'm all for separating the art from the artist. I think that's a thing. I think you can create something or be of service or be a part of something that is not necessarily you at your core, completely.
Like Bill Cosby.
Another great example.
Another good example. I think human beings do have the ability to do things separate. But I can do something separate from my brain and my heart are separate in certain cases. I do think there's certain circumstances where, are you confused? Because you look like you got to take.
No, this is going to be great.
You guys use the bathroom?
No.
Okay.
Should we all use the bathroom before we dive into this?
No, I just personally believe that you can separate an artist from its art, or art from the artist. But I do think in certain circumstances, you can see that person's personal life bleed into their art, which then taints how you view their art. I.e., R. Kelly was singing about underage women. We just gotta accept that in our lives.
Was
Right.
he singing about all ages?
Well,
All ages matter.
I guess my personal belief would be that he married Aaliyah at a very young age when she was like 15, 16.
Yeah.
Married Aaliyah at 15.
I was gonna say, Greg, do you know the whole saga of R. Kelly's?
You know he married Aaliyah at 15.
He's the story with R. Kelly is that he's been has sexual encounters with women who are girls who are underage girls. So when Aaliyah was what 15
to
16, there was a whole thing about them being married, and then earlier this year, documentary came out where people came out and spoke against and spoke to those stories. But actually, I think Aaliyah's mother came out recently and said, yo, actually that wasn't true. Like that story that woman just told wasn't true. So there's a lot of whatever, but I think it's pretty clear there was a video of him peeing on a girl.
Like he's had sex with younger women. The whole Aaliyah thing, God rest his soul, I don't know, but I mean, me, if I was a parent, I wouldn't let my 16-year-old daughter marry
It's disgusting,
a
man.
grown-ass man.
Yeah.
So like you have his encounters with underage women, then you have it compounded with like, I guess his emotional and like mental abuse of women, like keeping them like hostage in fucking dungeons.
He's
and
a predator.
Weird shit. Yeah, predator shit like
He's a
that.
predator.
And apparently from what I hear, and obviously like he went to trial for a long time, and he was that ended up that ended with him being not guilty according to the court. But there's just too much, and you hear stories about his crew being kind of just as kind of vile, and they're kind of organized with the whole thing, and so.
That's the thing, like, don't get me wrong. I don't think that abuse of anybody, women and underage people, like, that's messed up. But him marrying Aaliyah at the age of 15, there's cultures around the world where women get married even earlier.
Fact.
And
Right.
even in like, in the Baha'i faith, at the age of 15 is when you are considered an adult, essentially. And you can get married at the age of 15. So it's like
Technically.
I don't know, like I don't know if it's like so in my mind I'm not like this is so disgusting that we get, because I think that the 16-year-olds are definitely out here having sex and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Well, why not get married, instead of just being
But Greg,
You can't make life choices at 16.
yeah.
You definitely can.
Wait. Okay, but here's the thing. We're talking about different cultures, different times, and different eras. Right now, legally, right, the age of consent is, well, it's actually different from state to state, isn't it?
It's 18.
But it's 18. Obviously, our hope and dream for humanity is to grow, and get to the point where once you reach the age of maybe even a younger age, you're more developed. You're more spiritually developed, but that's not the case right now. And legally in this law, that's not the vibe. And bro, like, I don't know. Children, like those are children. I like, what's the line where you differentiate a child who can't make decisions for themselves to an adult who can? Some people, in some countries, it is that age. But in this country, it's 18. And that shit is gross.
If you had a 16-year-old daughter right now, would you allow your 16-year-old daughter to get married?
Well, for example, if
That-
let's
I
say
just-
my 16-year-old daughter got
just wanna-
pregnant, right? Let's say she got pregnant, and the father wanted to marry her, and they were in love.
But if the father was older, he would go to jail. That's illegal.
Oh, if the father was like over the age of 16.
That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about two 16-year-olds.
Also, if your
I feel that.
Also, if your 16-year-old daughter got pregnant, would you think that she was able to make proper life choices at this age? Though, because she's clearly pregnant at 16.
Yeah, we're
So
not-
That should be like.
Go ahead, Kelly.
I don't actually think that means that she's not able to make life choices if she gets pregnant at 16. Like,
No,
I think
I'm not saying that she can't, but is that indicative of her making the best choices?
maybe for her. I think everyone's on a different path. I don't
plenty
think
of
that you
people
can.
that kids
There's
that-
definitely people that have had children at 16.
Yeah.
And that have been really had really successful lives and really
Yeah.
successful children's lives. So I don't think that's like a blanket statement that
No,
if you
it's not. I'm just
have
saying.
a child at 16, you're not capable of making decisions.
I'm not. That's
Yeah.
not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying like if your daughter got pregnant at 16, would you then say, you know what?
My
You're doing all
daughter
the
might be
things- all the right
super
things.
mature at 15.
We talking about
and-
might. I'm talking about if it actually happened.
There's a lot of
Well,
limitations.
I don't
on
have a
your
16-year-old, so I have to speak in certain terms. And yeah, my daughter might be very mature. So at 16, it might be like, yeah, like it's time for you to have a family if that's what you want. If you want to have kids, if you're ready for that life, sure, go ahead and have it. If that's like where she's at, and because there's some 30-year-olds that don't need to be having kids.
Agree.
It's true.
So there's some 40-year-olds still don't need to be having
that haven't reached, that aren't ready to be an adult yet.
I've seen plenty of like young adults that are 15, 18, that are very mature, like wise beyond their years. So I think that it depends on the person, not necessarily the age or the circumstance.
But in this scenario of R. Kelly, no.
Specifically, yeah.
No-go.
Yeah, obviously, I know there's women out there who are 16 who run the house, who work and pay bills and have kids like that.
That's their circumstance.
Because that's their circumstance, and
Camera. Yo, when my 16-year-old daughter watches this one, don't play with me. Don't have no goddamn.
I'm not saying. I'm just talking about reality.
Don't play with me.
To my future goddaughter.
I'll whip her ass and your ass. Don't play with me.
Will literally support you, girl. Don't worry about him and his angry self.
Angry self. Okay, but back to separating artists from artistry. R. Kelly, growing up with his music, man, so many classics.
Hits on top of hits.
You know, like I think wasn't "Step in the Name of Love." Weren't they like? Wasn't that going to be like they were petitioning that to be like the new national anthem for the United States or something like that?
Was it?
Yeah, something like that. Like there was a huge petition for that. Obviously, you know, Chocolate Factory, is stuff in the 90s.
All that.
Like
it is traumatizing.
R&B, it's crazy because he's a huge influence on what I do in terms of R&B. But now, and I know the argument is this: if you continue to support R. Kelly, who is alive and well and still active, if you continue to support him, you are also supporting his lifestyle choices and the dirt that he's accused of and that we all suspect him of being completely guilty of. Yeah. So what do you do? Because as an artist and especially as a DJ, I want to play Ignition Remix. I want to play Step in the Name of Love, but I don't anymore because I really don't want to support that or offend people. But I do play Vybz Kartel, who murdered someone and is in jail for it, and it's very clear. So it's tricky. Like I'm not sure.
Like Gucci Mane, who took a whole entire life.
Yeah, another example.
Gucci Mane took
did?
someone's life.
Yeah.
Is that why he was in jail?
Self-defense. No, he went to jail for some other shit.
Yeah, but anyways, artists and artistry. I think, you know, so that brings me to this case, you know. For me, it's like, it's conditional. R. Kelly, I feel a very certain way, and when I hear his music, because his music is all about sex, I hear it a different way, I can't enjoy it as much, and so I don't play it, I don't support it anymore. I hope, and obviously I know people are able to change, you know. The Cosby Show was extremely important for America, you know, and me growing up.
I think he should have gone to jail.
Bill? Yeah, absolutely.
But Bill got, my own personal belief, Bill did some foul shit, but I think the one thing his number one offense was he forgot he was black in America.
Right. See, I think that was the thing with Bill.
He forgot
he was black and he was trying to do some things, and then it was like, no, sir, not so much.
Black men in America, you gotta, I mean, it's just the reality, you gotta be unscathed, no blemishes, you gotta be squeaky clean. And even if you're squeaky clean, you're still gonna get shitted on.
I don't know that much about the law, but it's like, if you do something 20, 30 years ago, and it wasn't brought up until 20, 30 years later, you could still go to jail for that shit.
Certain things have limitations, like certain things you can't be charged for or it won't be investigated after a certain amount of years, certain things are. But Bill got jammed up for some shit he did recently. It wasn't like the cases from the 60s and 70s were just evidence or like, you know, more information to, I guess, allude to he was a predator, a sexual predator. But the shit he got jammed up for was in like the 2000s.
Yeah, and it wasn't like it was an isolated incident. It was like decades worth of accusations and stories.
Yeah, I think that I think the overall theme here is that women are preyed upon. And that's like the Me Too movement speaks to that, as well as like a lot of other movements even before the Me Too movement. So I think that like women are preyed upon. It's not really safe to be a woman, like in the world. Like genuinely, it's just not. Like we can like make it seem like it is, but it's just not. So I think like R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, they have used that privilege of being a man in a world where women are preyed upon, and they've preyed upon women. And now they're kind of like reaping what they sow. And I think with R. Kelly, like I was a huge R. Kelly fan. Like I listened to R. Kelly and was like, I don't want to die a virgin. This sounds amazing. You know what I mean?
And how old were you? And how old were you when you said that?
Oh my God, I was definitely like 14.
Kelly's sitting there like, I feel like he's talking right to me.
I don't want to die a virgin.
I was like, oh my God, I literally don't want to die a virgin.
Man.
So that was a real thing with R. Kelly, but I cannot separate the artist from the art. Like that's not a
Right.
reality that can exist, especially as a woman of color.
In all cases or specifically this case?
All cases. Who you are as a human being, like if you are a bad person as a human being and you create amazing art, somewhere in that art, subconsciously, there's some evil shit, and I don't need to be ingesting it into my spirit because I don't believe that it's separate.
To me, that's a slippery slope, and I can understand what you're saying.
How is it a slippery?
Well,
let's go on ahead and slide.
Okay. Well, okay. And I'm probably gonna get all types of shit about this.
As you should.
But I
It's
gotta
okay.
be. But I gotta be. You know,
This conversation is important.
I gotta keep it a stack. If you went to a HBCU and you graduated, and you're part of that '90s college culture, you owe Bill Cosby a nod.
Bro, I went to Spelman College.
I'm aware.
I went to classes
I'm
in
aware.
Cosby. Bill and Camille Cosby gave so much money to
You have to. So at some point, like based upon what you're saying, you got to basically remove that experience from yourself.
Why?
Because
What? That doesn't
Bill
make sense.
Cosby gave money and he supported your education in some shape, form, or fashion. So you have to be like, well, damn, shit. If it wasn't for this man, I wouldn't technically be the person I am.
Yeah, but it's possible to
First of all, that is another patriarchal thing to say. If it wasn't for this man, I wouldn't be who I am.
No.
I'm popping always.
We
with or
know you
without no
popping.
man.
We get it. You
okay,
popping.
so I don't have
just,
to thank
I'm
Bill
just saying.
Cosby for shit.
Okay, I'm just saying that he contributed to your experience some way, somehow.
So did a lot of people.
Okay, but that particular person, based upon what you just said, is you want to separate what they did from who they are, and that person, what they did, contributed to you.
To separate their art from who they are.
Their art is what they contribute to the world, not necessarily comedy, necessarily paintings. What they contributed to the world can be classified as their art.
First of all, you didn't even. I was talking about R. Kelly. Number one. Number two, if we want to go into the conversation with Bill Cosby, I think that the Bill Cosby conversation, as we just spoke upon, is very interesting because of the details surrounding it.
So are you separating Bill's art from himself?
No, I'm not separating Bill's art from himself at all.
Okay, that's what I'm asking.
I watch the Cosby Show. That's the real question. Do I still watch the Cosby Show? I don't listen to R.
You
Kelly.
can't watch the Cosby Show. It's not on fucking TV
There
nowhere.
we go. Do I go and look at Bill Cosby specials on YouTube? No, I don't. Do I appreciate my education?
That's my point.
Absolutely, but my parents paid out of pocket for my education.
Yes, but he was still a part of your education, is what I'm saying.
He wasn't part of my like yes, he had the building, he purchased the building, but Tariq, I don't think it's like that cut and dry. He was part of
That's
my
why I said it's a,
education.
that's why I said it's a slippery
So
slope.
he was part of my education, now what? Now what?
Don't ask me. I'm asking you. You said it.
So what am I supposed to separate? What else am I supposed to do?
That's my question. If you're talking about separating someone's contributions to
So
the
I'm
world,
supposed to separate myself from my education, so I'm supposed to be like, oh, well, Bill Cosby is now in jail for being a predator of women. I no longer remember like the classes.
what I'm saying is that if you're gonna say it's that cut and dry, you gotta separate the artist from the art, then you also have to question, okay, that person contributed to my education somehow. That's a conversation that's what has to be had.
So then what is the next?
Don't ask me, you said it. You have to tell me.
You were literally saying, what are you saying? You're not even saying shit. He's not even saying shit. What are you even saying?
First off, why is your voice so high?
Not because you're not saying shit.
Guys.
That's the first
Because
question.
you're not saying shit.
Why is your voice so
What you
high?
saying?
I literally just said it. I can say it again if
Say
you
it
like.
again. Say
Okay.
it again.
If you're going to separate the artists from their contributions, then you also have to
You said
take
artist from the art, but okay.
artists from the art. You also have to take in consideration that that artist may have contributed to your life somehow.
Absolutely. We just said that about R. Kelly
Okay.
and all of these people.
So when I say that, that's a slippery slope. I'm asking, what's next? Do you separate that? Do you have that conversation with yourself and say, oh shit?
No. Once you have the full picture and the full information on the person, at the time, I did not know that R. Kelly, when I was listening to R. Kelly, was raping young girls. At the time when I was at Spelman College, I did not know that Bill Cosby had raped and drugged many women. So I lived my life accordingly and I had my experiences as such. But as a human being and a woman right now, with all the information that I now have about R. Kelly and Bill Cosby, I make different choices as it relates to them.
And that doesn't negate, to Kelly's point, that doesn't negate the clear contributions that R. Kelly and Bill Cosby have made and contributed to the world and America's education, to be honest.
Right.
Like, they did important work and they should be acknowledged for that. But, you know, they've clearly made some terrible decisions and they should pay the consequences. And if you support women, because I'm not even as in like, oh, I can't support his music anymore. It's not like, I don't want to approach it from a deficit point of view. I'm appreciating women first and foremost. That's my priority. So in order to do that, I can't really support them the same way anymore. But so in that sense, you can separate their contributions from who they are, because it's tricky. Like, I don't think it's easy to call Bill Cosby and R. Kelly a bad person. They are bad people. But at one point, you know, in a lot of people, in a lot of successful people's lives that we love, you know, you could consider yourself, like, people have bad moments. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's not fair.
Yeah.
To completely bad name somebody.
Yeah.
Because everybody has good and bad things associated with their lives and their past.
Yeah.
And
you can't think in extremes.
Yeah, because, you know, and
but should they be punished for what they've done?
Absolutely.
I don't get super into like the crucifixion of these characters. You know, I feel like yes, they've done some bad shit, but I'm pretty sure that the people that are accusing them of all the craziness have done some things themselves. You know, like in the faith it talks about like don't like focus on the faults of others when you have so many faults yourself. You know, and I think that a lot of times with the media, we focus so much on the faults of others, and that's what we celebrate and focus on. And so that kind of overshadows all the good elements, because you can be somebody who has flaws and faults and still contribute something good to society.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's fair that human beings in general, if we were just to go about life focusing on only the faults. Not saying that this is not me, because I support women, and I think that there is a real problem in this country and in this world of patriarchy and men taking advantage of their power against women. I think that's something that really does need to be addressed. And certain people have to be made an example of, you know, for all the millions of other people who are doing the same thing. So
one of the main reasons I brought that up about, you know, a person's contributions affecting your life personally is because you take, and that's not like keep it specific to R. Kelly or Bill Cosby. You have Harvey Weinstein, you have fucking Kevin Spacey, you have there's a host of people, right? Of men of all shapes, colors, sizes, whatever. They use their contributions of good to almost like a window for their victims to like tie on to. So like one of the main conversations about the R. Kelly shit was all of the women that, and I'm getting these conversations from other women. They're like, yo, I can't believe these women would even support this man well into his career. Like I knew R. Kelly was a piece of shit when I was 12.
R. Kelly is on tour right now and he's still selling
out, exactly. So it's like, I knew if I knew something was wrong with R. Kelly marrying Aaliyah when I was 12, I'm pretty sure a grown woman, you know, within the industry could probably see something wrong with that, but there were still women who were still conversing with him, interacting with him, and then they became victims. And I'm not blaming them for being victims, but at what point do we start to have the conversation about, okay, is there any personal responsibility for the situations people put themselves in?
I think men get so many passes, man. I think
that he's even on tour and that they are booking
so
him
many
for
passes,
tours is crazy. It's normalized. This behavior is just normal.
But the thing is, his main consumer is women.
But if
it's so crazy.
Like, we won't book R. Kelly, would they be able to go to these shows? If the promoters were like,
somebody's gonna book him. somebody's gonna book him because the demand is there.
That's the issue.
That's the issue.
No, I agree, but
Where does it stop?
But we know, like, and
so-
the demand is there, so it's always gonna be there.
But I think that that's also about the psychology. And I think it's about the society that we also live in and the psychology of the society. And this behavior of men being predators is normalized. It's something we see all the time. It's joked about. It's like this ongoing thing. So the fact that he's even on tour and that they are booking him, that the arenas and all the people and the system behind R. Kelly is, or the system behind the world is booking R. Kelly for shows, that's the problem. The women that go, yeah, that's a thing, but that's also real work that we have to do as a society of women not being in this position of being preyed upon. That's like, it's a whole mentality shift.
Yeah.
How do we?
So I can't.
Yeah. How do we? My question is, you know, and we're artists too. You know what I'm saying? So I feel a bit of a responsibility, you know, to promote the empowerment of women. You know what I'm saying? As a different type of message and conversation to put out there. Because yeah, man, people look past that shit way too much these days. There's too many get out of jail free cards for men. Whereas if women slip up, they're pretty much persecuted their entire lives. Right. Like for example, Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce, and he remains at large very successful. I'm not saying cheating on someone is the same thing as, you know, being a sexual predator.
Yeah.
But man, like, if Beyonce cheated on, like if Beyonce did something, or if one of these women did something, I feel like everyone would come down on them, because it's cool to be a pimp. It's not cool to be a hoe. You know what I'm saying? It's not passable to do that shit. So there's definitely a double standard that we need to address, and this double standard, it seems like something that, you know, you need to talk to children about, and it's like, seems like a little thing, like, oh yeah, we should start talking to people more about the double standard. But I think we need to take that shit a lot more seriously, because this is what leads to R. Kelly's. This is what leads to Bill Cosby's. This mindset, this socialization of, you're a guy, so you're gonna be okay.
Right.
You kind of do whatever you want.
You do whatever you want, but as a woman, you know, it's scary to be a woman. Like, and I think that, you know, a lot of times, like, the Instagram girls get a lot of slack for, like, the way that, you know, some girls are on Instagram, but I think it's also like the reason why some girls are like that is based on fear.
Yeah.
It's a fear-based reaction. It's a fear-based.
Terrified.
It's terrified. It's like, well, if I do this, then I'll get a man in my life, and that man will protect me, and maybe this man will keep me safe. Okay, well, maybe the men you're attracting, that becomes an abusive situation, but maybe that's better than being out on your own. So then it's just like this whole cycle that our society that we're in, and I think it all comes from fear-based, like, realities that we all are living in, and especially as, like, a woman, like, it is hard out here. It is not okay. Like, It is easier, like, even me, like, I know that I've been a serial monogamist, and I think I've realized in recent times,
Serial monogamous.
it's like I feel safer in relationships when I have, like, a man that I know is gonna protect me.
Gotcha.
And so I've stayed in relationships back to back because I had some things happen when I was younger where I was just like, oh, this is wild out here. You know, like, where I was put in unsafe positions. So it is scary as a woman. And I think men like R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, Harvey Weinstein, all these men, they take advantage of people that are in, like, less positions of privilege. And that's women, that's children, and, like, the cycle continues.
Yeah, I just want
We need to stop it.
I want all of us to be very cognizant of our positions, man. Don't be a piece of shit. Don't move funny. Don't be a predator. Don't take advantage of people. It's just not. If the roles were reversed, it's not something you would want to be in. And if you are, you know, if you are in a position where you could be vulnerable, you know, be cognizant of it. You know, like, always. Again, that just comes from, like, how I was raised. Always keep your head on the swivel. Always be aware.
Right.
You know what I mean? Know who you're around. Know your surroundings, and try to keep yourself out of spaces where, you know,
and I think at the end of the day, we are better as a humanity when men and women, we can really be, like, amazing together. Like, there's certain things that men do well, you know, like, Greg's taller than me, so why do I need to, like, go reach for things that are high up? You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to do stuff like that.
I would.
But You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying. I see
You know
what you're
I
saying,
mean?
though.
Like, it's like, okay, you're
Oh, God.
Use your different strengths
Use your strengths.
to
together
create.
as men and women. Like, we can come together. Abdul Baha says, oh, the book right here. But basically, you can say it better. Y'all the better. Like,
So for those who don't know, Abdul Baha was a man who he was alive in the 1800s, late 1900s. He was the son of Baha'u'llah, who was the founder of the Baha'i faith, who a lot of us were raised in, and we ascribe to a lot of their teachings. Abdul Baha has a beautiful quote, and actually my mom taught me this quote. Shout out to my mom. My mom used to give a talk on the equality of men and women, and he basically compares humanity to a bird. A bird that is capable of soaring to great heights, and he likens men and women to the two wings of a bird. And mind you, he said this in the 1800s, which is a very different time. Women did not have any of the rights that they have now.
Right.
And he said, he was very much ahead of his time. He said that until men and women can be equal, until both wings are at equal strength, that is the only way that the bird can fly and reach these great heights. And he said, right now, humanity is at a state where one of the wings is broken. And we need to work together to mend that broken wing. So we can,
Yeah, I think like, at the end of the day,
I think it's beautiful, man. And I think that's what we strive to do. Especially, can we give it up for Kelly, yo? Can we give it up for Kelly, man? Because Kelly is that wing for the wave and represents
You're a wing.
You're a wing. All of us, we need all of our strength to be one wing, but you hold that one wing up, the other wing up, all by yourself, and you represent for the women. And we love you.
You don't wear
We all
shoes,
love
though.
I know Greg really loves you.
You never wear shoes. You never
Understand
wear
that Freak
shoes.
and I love you too, and we're also here to protect you. You know what I'm saying? From the BS. My bad, Greg. You were about to
No,
say
and I'm
something.
really lucky, so.
Want you to protect your feet with shoes.
And lotion.
Definitely lotion. Your lotion game is so low.
Anyways.
It's crazy.
Yeah. What was that, Greg? My bad. You were about to say something.
I mean, I was just gonna say that, when you work in an organization with women, where women and men respect each other and there's not that crazy predator energy, and you're really able to attain so much more, because then all that confusion and negative energy and just non-efficientness, basically holds you up in your productivity, and what you're able to accomplish. Like, have you ever seen the movie? I haven't seen it, but it's called Numbers. I think it was about like how. What was it about? It was like these ladies that work for NASA.
Oh, that was a different movie then. Sorry. Yeah.
Hidden Numbers.
Oh,
Hidden Figures. Hidden Figures.
Hidden Figures.
That was
yeah.
a great movie.
That was a dope movie.
Yeah.
Amazing,
Yeah.
It's like you see when women are empowered to do
My mom loved that movie.
whatever they want, you know what I'm saying? They're able to do incredible things that a lot of times men aren't able to do. So I think that and even within the Afro House community.
I was about to say that we work with a bunch of women, like they.
And we're very cognizant
Yeah.
about how we treat them and how we
That's
respect
super.
them and how
yeah.
we we're focused on empowering them, and that is one of the real reasons why Afro House is able to be such an amazing, safe space. That's what people comment on.
One of the things I've noticed is that when this is for men and women both, but when you empower the other, particularly men empowering women, or just supporting them, that we lose that stigma of victimized, of being a victim, right? Like they're no longer in that space where they feel like that's the one thing they have to attach themselves to. Like, I'm not a fucking victim. Like, I'm a woman. I'm powerful. You know what I mean? So I want women just in general to know that, like, yo, you don't accept that victim shit. That shit is weak. That's not you. Like, you're a powerful piece. You're an amazing person.
Right.
And
Also, to the men out there, you are also not a victim. You don't have to be a victim of the narrative of the toxic masculinity that pretty much runs the world. And I think the metaphor of the two-winged bird is so incredible because, there's so many empowering women's movements out right now. Not enough, I don't think, but there's definitely not enough of men empowerment because men got to know these things too. You know what I'm saying? Like women are I think ahead of men in terms of like progression and consciousness and being aware of their worth, you know, and their value and what they should stand for in order to really like add to progression. I think men are kind of, you know, maybe falling behind a little bit, but just because the narrative since the beginning of time
Has been a certain way.
And it's okay to cry as a man. You should cry like, you know.
You always want somebody to cry.
I think it's like a really great.
Why do you always want somebody to cry?
There's like a release that happens when you.
I think it's
cry.
important for men to cry.
Listen, if you cry, that's amazing. If you release in another way, that's also amazing. I don't want us to get caught up in, yo, it's okay to cry. You know, somebody dude is in his bathroom. It is okay to cry, but if you don't cry, you shouldn't feel ashamed that you don't cry. You shouldn't feel any less. No, I'm telling you, I'm telling you personally, people have said, oh man, you're not in touch with your emotional intelligence because you don't cry. I've definitely heard that before. Like, yo.
That's not necessarily true.
And I think that's bullshit.
I think that in
You gotta be able
large.
to tap into all the elements of your emotional nature.
Agree. But sometimes it may not be
What do you do when
crying.
you're sad?
When I'm sad, I try to get around family or good energy immediately.
Okay.
Because that takes me away from that emotion of sadness and helps me process why I'm sad, as opposed to just being caught up in being sad.
Guys, let's talk about our emotions in the context of us being artists. Because as artists, Make More Love is a project that we all, that we all,
Now, baby.
Said, hey.
but all the music we make, we as artists, we try to put our heart and soul into it, we try to really represent and channel an emotion so that it strikes a chord with the listener and that we create that bond and that connection. And obviously we don't have to cry on every record. Michael Jackson did one time and it was very powerful, you know what I'm saying?
He's amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing.
but in other ways, we express emotion
Facts.
in a very intense way as artists. Even if you're spitting bars, there's a passion in that, You're probably about to cry, talking about all the shit you've seen, you know what I'm saying? That type of thing. So maybe we can open it up, talk about us as artists a little bit. And people aren't gonna separate our artistry from our art, but I think we're at a point where what we represent is love, is empowerment, is clearly unity, all these things. And, motherfuckers think that you just cry when you're sad. But sometimes, like, if I see an empowering moment, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Or if I hear a song that touches me in a real way, man, young tear gonna fall down.
Let it
Feel me?
flow.
Yeah.
Let it flow.
I've cried out of happiness before.
Word.
Yeah.
Tell us. I'm trying to have us tell stories. Tell that story.
Nah, I graduated. Fuck, I was happy to get the fuck out of college.
You graduated. After 9 years, he got his associate's degree.
Put your hand down.
We're very proud.
Put your goddamn hand down. No, after my 5th year of college, I graduated.
Nice.
Yeah, and I was happy. And it was a moment to me. It was after, so for those who don't know, I'm in a fraternity, Alpha Alpha. And when we have celebratory moments, there is a ritual we do where we lock up and we sing a song and we say a particular mantra. And it was like a real, emotionally charged moment.
And you cried.
Yeah.
Like to say
I was like laughing, I was crying, I was excited.
Wow.
But I was probably.
Was that the last time you cried?
No,
You cried.
the last time I cried was no, I didn't cry in the bathroom, you fucking weirdo. My grandmother's funeral I cried too.
Before every show. Not from sadness, not from happiness, but sheer nervousness.
Absolute anxiety. I just weep in the bathroom before every show.
You just can't take it.
Yeah.
Nah, but you know what? My goal for this podcast is to obviously speak to our fans, is to obviously make some bread. But my main goal is to have you cry on air, just to document it, and so we can have it forever. I think once
Show your 16-year-old.
I think once that happens, that's where we can really say we've made it. So
We're working towards that.
yeah.
We've got a lot of work.
It's on you, bro.
We've got a lot of
I
work.
know how we can make Tariq cry. We have to bring someone on the show and not tell him until he gets here.
I mean, when Hove comes here,
I'm fucking crying.
he's gonna break down. And John, who's Hove again?
Jay-Z. Got that.
Succeeded in our educational purposes.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
if Hope showed up, I'd probably cry.
I learned.
Can we all tell the story of when we cried? Because when I was I fell in love with music from R&B, and my parents are musicians, and my mom used to sing all the soul standards. She used to get hired to sing at weddings and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And my dad played the keys. So I grew up like listening to Stevie Wonder is very important, but I fell in music with like the boys, early 90s, so Boys to Men, New Edition, All for One. And I remember, when did the movie The Hunchback of Notre Dame? No, hear me out. What song was that?
I'm done with this nigga, man.
What year was Hunchback of Notre Dame? Y'all remember the cartoon?
Maybe like 94, 96.
First of all, Disney, was that a Disney movie? It was. Or maybe it was
Disney.
Okay, cool. Anyways, in the 90s, Disney was on a run, and every animated movie that came out had an amazing song that went with it.
Big soundtrack.
Right.
Big soundtrack. Like the song would be a #1 record, you know what I'm saying? So Hunchback of Notre Dame soundtrack, I had it on tape because I saw that All for One had a joint on there. And
Did they really?
yeah.
In 96, All for One was still, yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
That's about right.
And so I was a child, and I had that tape, and I was home alone, and All for One had this song called like "I Will Get There" or something. It was
Notre Dame out there, topsy-turvy, God help the outcast, hellfire, a guy like you.
What are you reading right now?
Yeah, you're just reading words.
Oh, is there a "I Will Get There"? What's the All for One song? I don't know why I forget because it's such a powerful moment. Anyways, I was playing that song, and I was alone in the house. And when I was hearing that song, I just started crying, bro.
This is so terrible.
I'm dead ass though. 'Cause that song, it's like, okay, listen, I grew up with gospel music as well. And if you hear something powerful, if something speaks to you,
Total praise will make you cry.
total praise.
Every time.
So that moment for me, it was like, I will get there. Something like, I will get there somehow. It was something like that, and I was like, oh, this is the truth right here.
Bro,
I recognize.
Take the visual of like a young body in his crib alone weeping
Bro,
to All for
I
One
was like
song.
7 or something. I was 7 or 8, alone on the couch. And I remember my mom came home, and I was in the middle of crying. She was like, oh my God, what happened? Like, did you fall or something? Did you hit your head? Are you okay? And I was like, Mom, it's just a song with something. And I said, I couldn't. And she was, and my mom was just like, oh my God, you're gonna be an artist.
Pretty much.
You're gonna be an artist, man.
That was like the first indication.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
But yeah,
now
that
we have to
was,
listen to that song.
I can't believe I remember that moment just now. But yeah, it's not even that popular of a song, but it was very important.
It will be now. The streaming numbers on that song are probably gonna fucking skyrocket.
Hunchback of Notre Dame, when the credits started, that song came on. It was that song. Someday. Thank you. Did you look it up, or was it important to you as well?
Topsy-Turvy is a fucking great song, though.
Topsy-Turvy from Hunchback. Yeah.
I love that song.
That was a different era. That was
Hunchback
magic.
scared me a little bit, so I don't
The
know.
Gargoyles.
Yeah.
Gargoyles was
It
lit.
was a little dark.
It's a good movie.
I know.
Anyways, we could talk about these movies.
Is it because you judged the Hunchback of Notre Dame? I feel like you judged him.
Why do you always?
Because he was a sweet soul. I'm not. I'm just. Well, first off, no. Let's be very clear about this. You were a mean girl.
Ha.
You were.
Yeah, you definitely were.
Yeah, you're not fighting that. You're not fighting that at all. That's how I know it's true. You were a mean girl.
I think I just communicate in a very.
Yeah. I feel it though. I feel it.
I wasn't mean.
That's a real artistic way to say I was a mean girl.
No, listen.
No, actually, no. Hold on. Let's actually.
Listen,
for all the people
I used to be a fuckboy.
Daniel Hand High School.
We've all come a long way.
Was I a mean girl? No, I was actually very nice. I was so nice to everyone. I was nice to all types of people, even when I went into different communities. I was nice to everybody. I think my communication style sounds mean girly, but it's not.
I've never known you to be like mean.
I'm not mean. I'm just like, I think.
She's
I've
not.
known you to be very direct and sometimes unapologetic with your communication style.
Yeah, I think it comes from my parents. I also grew up in a very white, Republican, wealthy.
Sound like mean girl to me.
That communication is innately the sound of my voice may sound mean girl, but what I'm saying is never me.
There is a lot of explanation for the two words mean and girl. You know that, right? You're really diving into it.
No, because it's something I've been working on lately. Because I'm like, I'm trying to not be as apologetic for like how I grew up and my communication style and just like.
I don't think there's anything wrong with being a mean girl.
I'm not a mean girl though.
Shit me.
What does being a mean girl mean?
Yeah, exactly. What does that even mean? Directly communicating?
No.
Does it mean like making fun of people or something?
Yeah, I
Or
never
doesn't
make
mean-
fun of people.
That's not
I would
Kelly.
never-
She doesn't. She
I
doesn't.
She doesn't make fun of people, but sometimes if you're not feeling your energy, she'll be like, ew.
I'll be like, I want to talk to you.
Exactly. That's not me.
I don't want to talk to you.
I get accused sometimes of being.
You're a mean girl.
But he's a mean girl. He's a mean girl.
No, I get accused because where I'm from, and I grew up around a very diverse community, but definitely a lot of Caribbean folks. And I grew up, and my mom is part Italian, so I grew up around a lot of volume. There's a lot of volume in the way we spoke, and certain tones and stuff like that. And so some people who aren't necessarily familiar with that, they'll be like, oh, you are aggressive, or like, you are verbally abusive, something like that. But I grew up, listen, man, like I project, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I make sure you hear a lot of frequencies in my voice. I'm gonna make sure it cuts.
You mix that very well.
Yeah, in the wave session, if you look at my files, my waves,
Like that.
boom, you feel me? But I don't think it means I'm mean. No, I don't think it means I'm coming at you. I just think it means I'm passionate with my principles and what I'm saying.
Yeah, when I say mean girl, I mean the colloquial. I mean like, the slang
Like,
of
you
mean
can't sit
girl.
with us?
Tariq, you might be a mean boy.
You can't sit with us. Here's the thing. You cannot sit with me if you are rude and you have a bad spirit. Okay?
Okay,
All right.
Is that mean girl?
No.
that's a woke girl.
You can't sit with me. Like some people literally can't. No, actually, I have this book here. No, everyone can sit with me. I'm working.
You see how quickly that changed?
Right before your eyes.
No, I'm.
No, Abdul. No.
Listen, everybody can't sit with
Alan
me.
Abdul Baha, I don't like when people lie. That's like really my number one pet peeve in life. Like
Right.
if you lie to me, like I literally turn red and like get really hostile. And I think Abdul Baha and Baha'u'llah said we're not supposed to like allow liars to lie to us. Like that's like a principle. Like
I'm just a firm believer in everybody can't go. Everybody can't sit with me. Everybody's not chosen. So
everyone can't go where.
to wherever I'm going, like on my journey, everybody can't sit with me. Everybody can't go where. I'm not gonna go where I want to go. I'm gonna just chill.
You know what?
Interesting.
No, I mean,
Speak on that.
pretty much.
Because actually, that brings up a lot of thoughts. Though.
Pretty much like I can't find a holy book that that doesn't speak about there being a separation between certain types of people. Certain people just have a certain frequency, a certain energy, a certain spirit that lends itself to progression and forwardness and a higher level, and others don't.
But why do you think that is? Do you think it's upbringing? Do you think it's opportunity?
I think it could be a combination of upbringing. It could be a combination of life choices. I think it's nature and nurture. There's certain things is natural selection, and there's certain things is just you are your environment. It is what it is. You make your own decisions. And from my point of view, everybody can go. Everybody's not getting a seat. In fact, most people ain't getting a seat, in my opinion. And
Where?
at my table, in my car, wherever's a chair that I'm at, everybody can't be here. Maybe.
Did we make the cut?
Obviously, I mean that's very clear.
Actually
I guess we're sitting
obligated.
here right now.
I mean, but like you know me, I'm very selective with who I rock with. You know what I mean?
Don't move funny.
Don't move funny.
But
man.
it's. I think about this a lot. I think about my journey and how everyone can't come with me. Because in my heart of hearts, I want to bring everyone with me. You know what I'm saying? But you can't. And I think it's the reason why is a mix of things. I think one, some people just aren't ambitious.
They're
You know
not
what I'm saying?
prepared. They're not
Some
ready.
people are very comfortable and they're chilling. And shout out to my homies back east, but a lot of them, names won't be dropped at this point, but a lot of them are just very comfortable with their small universe. You know what I'm saying? Whereas I am really trying to explore the larger world, the larger universe, create a legacy, get bags,
I have a whole bunch of goals and ambitions to do. So I think that's a big part of it. I think another part of it is opportunity and privilege. Growing up around a lot of, people of color, and I'm a person of color, but, racially, I am white, and I get a lot of passes that my homies haven't. I've always been hyper aware of that privilege. And obviously, in terms of money and class, I wasn't privileged in that way, you know what I'm saying? And my dad has a different story than my dad's a brown Southeast Asian man. And when he moved from Indonesia to Holland, he experienced such vile racism. And if you ask him, he don't really fuck with white people like that because of the life that he's lived, you know what I'm saying? But I have a different story. I grew up around a lot of different types of people, and a lot of it, I know, like, I could be given the same opportunity. Or for example, I'm with the homies, we get pulled over by the police.
Oh yeah, you doing the talking. You doing all the talking.
I'm the one who needs to talk to him.
Yeah.
And I put on, and I don't really talk that like white or whatever.
My white voice is better than yours.
Your white voice is way better, and you know about like Pearl Jam and shit that I have no idea about. So it's weird and subjective, and there's a lot of gray area. But all I'm saying is that we're all on our own journey. But some of the reasons why people aren't where we're at or aren't making the same moves as us is a mix of reasons. It's not always all on them. Sometimes it's circumstances, surroundings, neighborhood, family, where you come from.
Facts.
All of
Not
that.
everybody can sit at the table, right? But that doesn't mean you have to be mean to them. Yeah, I think there's a difference between being mean to somebody and then just not being able to vibe with somebody in that specific scenario.
Right.
There's always, I think if you live life with an open heart and you're willing to accept people, I think that there's room for some kind of relationship, on whatever level. But it might not always be like right next to you all the time. Or it might not always be like this situation might not fit for you right now. You know what I'm saying? Or this shit might not fit for me. Like maybe I'm not gonna sit at that table right now. You know what I mean? Like I think that that's the way that I view it. I don't necessarily view it as like, for example, I don't view you as a mean person because you said that. I think that you're just moving through life in a way that's like, hey, like it's very practical. I have 5 seats in my car. I can bring 5 people with me. Right?
Sometimes you just gotta dub people. I mean, I agree, you don't have to be mean to them, but some people you do have to dub. Like, nah, it's quiet, it's slow. Like,
Love dubbing people.
I mean,
What's your favorite thing to do?
Tariq has like a subtle dub of people, and he has like an overt dub.
The sub dub?
Subtle dub. Dubbed someone recently that I was like, yo, Tariq dubbed them, but in the most subtle way.
everything ain't for everybody, man. It's, like you said, certain energy just shouldn't be around me.
Yeah, there's definitely justified dubbing of people, personage. But there's also like
Personage.
you know what I'm saying?
I dubbed the
Dubbed for life. But there's also moments like we've all come a long way. Everyone has, and we all have our own journeys. And in my past, I've been mean to people.
Shocker.
We all have, right? We've all had mean moments, you know what I'm saying? Maybe moments where that person is just like, oh, he's a bad person, you know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of subjectivity, but definitely like reflecting on my past, I'm sure we all have stories of our past.
I've been dubbed. Like, I got to know, like.
So now he's the victim.
No, I'm not a victim, just saying, it's just reality, it's just life, you know what I mean?
By the gun, sometimes you die by the gun. If you out here dubbing people,
That got
right,
deep. That got really fucking deep.
Something Tariq would have said.
Yeah, that's my line.
I spent some time in Kansas City. Like that was one of the highest, murder.
Tell us a story about your life in Kansas City.
I mean, look.
Braces were cool.
I'll just give you a general, like, we used to run around the city. See, I hate incriminating myself.
Bro, this is where you're not incriminating yourself. We're talking about
No,
people.
I got you.
Statute of limitations is passed. You're okay.
I cried to all for one.
Because if Bill Cosby went to jail, I don't know what could happen. Just kidding. Didn't do anything of that nature. But I definitely robbed some cars.
Greg's gonna get us in trouble when
no, it's just like when you're running around the city and you're involved in crime and you shooting at people are shooting at you.
Were you shooting at people?
What? Can you be
Who's getting shot at?
Yeah, like,
Okay, being so general, like, all right, listen. Yeah, I was running around the city.
I mean, like,
robbing cars.
Robbing cars, shooting guns, but,
Tell us more.
no, it's like So one thing that happened to me is that one of my so-called friends, and I found out later that obviously this person was my friend, pulled up to my house and shot up my car. Okay, now I wasn't in the car, I was in the house. I did hear something like outside, like glass shattering and stuff. And like back in the day, like, you know, if someone pulls up on you, well, I mean, even today, someone pulls up on you and shoots at your house where your family sleeps and at your vehicle, that's a sign of warfare.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So, you know, like I didn't go out and shoot him or anything like that, but I definitely confronted him. You know, I definitely confronted him and I was like, yo. Like,
right after he did it?
Well, I didn't know that it was him at first. So I was asking around and I had an idea of maybe who it could be, but I never would have thought it would be this guy. Because he was supposed to be my friend, but turns out he was trying to be cool with some other people, so he pulled up and shot my shit up.
Because he was trying to be cool?
Kansas City's an interesting place, bro.
I went.
That's an interesting fucking place.
Nothing happened between us. Nothing happened between us.
So he was with his friends, he's like, wanna see something cool?
So,
But this is the thing, like.
what was his response when you said, yo, did you shoot my car up?
Well, I knew because his sister told my sister that he shot my car up. And so I know his sister wouldn't lie on her own brother. So when I confronted him, I was like, yo, I know you shot my shit up. And he's like, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. Then he tried to act all hard.
Wait, no, what did he say?
He was just like, yeah, you know, have you ever heard of an AR-15? I was like,
He shot your shit up with an AR-15?
That's some middle of America shit.
So he tried to act tough. He's like, yeah,
I don't
man,
know about that shit.
and he almost like, don't confront me because I got bullets for you. I was like,
Missouri.
bro, step out of your house. Because I went directly to his house. His mom and dad, everybody were there.
Were you Dolo?
I think I had one person with me.
All right,
I think I had one person with me. And it might have been my little sister. Yo, my sister's a G. Yo. She's bagging me up in the
Lil was probably like 11.
You know what? We're going there.
Yo, yeah, like she's literally, like, she stood up for me before. Like, that's my G. We're like best friends. But long story short, I was like, yo, step out your house and, you know, step out here, let's fight. And you know, like,
very kind way to ask.
I mean, this is the thing. I wasn't gonna shoot anybody. You know, that's not the way that I get down. I don't want to take people's lives. That's just not how I was raised. But when you're put in certain situations, when you're in a certain environment, sometimes you have to stand up for yourself. So the only thing I could think is like, well, just don't shoot my house again, bro. No, it's like, dude, you're gonna have to, like, there's some repercussion for what you've done.
Word.
So I said, step out the house. He didn't want to step out the house. And even his parents were like, yo, step out there and fight that guy, A, B, and C. I was just like, I was like, yeah, step out. He didn't want to step out, so his friend who lived with him, he was like, I'll step out. But then, you know, he's like, but this is what we're gonna do. I'm not gonna fight you right here in front of my own house because, like, you know, they're gonna call the cops here, A, B, and C. I was like, okay, so let's set up a time and let's fight.
Schedule.
We scheduled this fight at this notorious
I am dead.
McCoy Park, which is right by the police station. Stupid place to fight. Don't do it.
Isn't that funny when you grow up, there's always the one park where all the fights go down? It's just like, all right, after school, you know where to find me.
So long story short, like, the text messages go out. The whole school is informed of this fight that's coming up.
Absolutely.
That's coming up. You
The
know
school,
what I'm saying?
the pilgrimage of
The
students.
long walk of students, yeah. I love it.
And you know, his girlfriend at the time was actually pregnant, but they were like going through some crazy stuff, right? I was like close with their family, so it was really surprising. So I saw, like, you know, I had to address this. So his girlfriend picks me up and takes me to the fight to fight.
His girlfriend picks you up to fight her boyfriend.
Yes. To fight not her boyfriend.
Did you?
To fight her boyfriend's
Friend.
proxy. So to fight.
His stand-in.
Yo,
This was crazy.
Kansas
is a city.
Complex social hierarchy.
Oh my God. Big shout to Tech 9, wherever he
All
is.
over the world, all right? No, okay. You know what, Kansas City, you get the rap in this scenario. But listen.
Now, shout out to Tech 9 and Kansas.
Yeah.
Yeah, technology.
So we pull up to the park, and it's a snowy winter night, and it's ice
Disney
on the
book.
ground.
It's like a Disney book, bro.
No, this is good. I have a great visual on that.
It's a snowy winter night. I literally slide down the hill with my hand waving. I'm ready to sock.
Is that how you fight, bro?
So I came down the hill, and long story short, we started swinging at each other. There was at least 100 people gathered in that circle. Was me and this other guy.
How old were you, by the way?
I was like maybe 16.
Okay, cool.
And so
Doing this shit?
I slid down the hill. Bro. Have you ever seen nobody wallop, crash bangs and wallops, bro?
Crash bangs and wobbles.
So I slide down the hill, and I start swinging at this guy. He's swinging at me. He lands a couple, I land a couple, and it was an amazing exchange. Actually, it was a beautiful fight.
Ken and Ryu.
Yeah, it was.
Did you win?
Equal.
So I'll tell you, I actually got lucky because it was icy, right? And he was trying to swing, but he slipped and he fell on his back, and I was like, fuck this guy. and everyone was like, oh, whoa! Crazy. And it was all of those, like, those the flip phones? Flip phones out, right?
Oh,
so,
wow.
the razors. So the quality was horrible. So
It was a few pictures.
it just looked like a video game. But I ended up winning that fight, and I took that win home. But my hands were like all bloody. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And the cops all pulled up and surrounded like the park. So for some reason, the cops started coming down the hill, and like everyone was scattering and running, and they were checking everybody's knuckles, like to find out who were the ones that were fighting. And they, for some reason, didn't check my knuckles. I got really lucky, and I remember I went home, and I walked in the door, and my sister and my little brother knew I was gonna fight that night, and they were like, "What happened? Who won the fight?" This was before live stream or anything, and I was like, put up my knuckles, joints were bloody. I was like, "I won the fight." Yeah!
Yo, can we clap it up for Greg and his fight?
And surviving Kansas City in general.
Yeah.
I say that to say, like, because I was always in the motion. I definitely talked a lot of shit growing up.
Oh, yeah.
I definitely talked a lot of shit, and I definitely was involved in some things I didn't need to be involved in.
Right.
And that eventually came back to get me, because you put that energy out into the world, and people are gonna bring that energy back to you. You associate yourself with like violence and people who are doing messed up things happen to you. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, back to the mean conversation, if you're a mean person, you're mean to people, then you have to be prepared for people to be mean to you. So I learned a lesson early in life. Try not to put out, don't try to put things out there that you're not ready to receive.
Karma.
You know what I'm saying? That shit is real.
Bro, you have had this babies and fools thing just God protects babies and fools, man. And I'm not calling you a baby or a fool, but you're somewhere in the middle.
I'm blessed.
Well,
Because you pressed somebody who shot up your car with an automatic weapon, without a weapon, just like
you've been chosen.
foundation.
Because I knew he was soft. I knew he was soft.
That's a different level of bravery.
By the way,
Shot up my car, but he was soft.
By the way, we don't condone violence, but I think it's important to tell these because we've all been in fights, right? We're on them.
I haven't.
Oh, okay. Well,
Tariq, you been in a fight?
it's a part of a.
I feel like you've been in a gang fight, not a one-on-one.
Been in quite a few
Why do you
fights.
say that?
I just see
Because I'm black? What is it? 'Cause is it a black thing? I'm in a gang now?
Tariq with a freaking machete.
No.
Or like a little switchblade.
But anyways, we're all on our own journeys, and we've all been through things, learning the ways of the world, in our formative years, and they're a big part of our journey. And I know a lot of people can relate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're grown now. You know what I'm saying? We made it. We've all been chosen to survive. Definitely Greg. Definitely Greg. And I'm happy you're here today.
And Van.
And Van. Van's like, I'm gonna suck ya.
He's a street fighter, like wavering around.
He's like a scrappy, like, he grew up in Tanzania, like, then he went to Kansas City, so it's like a scrappiness about it.
Did y'all used to like, fighting has changed. And how we doing on time, by the way? Because we go, okay, yeah. So we go.
We got a couple minutes.
This podcast has been amazing, by the way. I feel like we've gotten to some real meat, some real juice, some juiced up meat.
Pause.
But it's funny how fighting has changed, because I remember back in the day, like now, mixed martial arts is very popular. So motherfuckers be kicking more. You
Yeah.
feel me? A lot more feet and sweeps and grapples and stuff like that.
It's kind of dope.
Hip tosses
Which is
and
dope.
shit.
But me growing up, if you tried to do that, you know, or pull hair, they were just, the whole crowd be like, whoa, whoa, what you
Yeah,
doing?
there was no feet in fighting.
Yeah, no feet.
There was no feet.
Yeah, man.
They used to put us in like a you know, like a tire, or like they would draw like a circle when you're younger. They'd be like, yo, they pick two, you know, the older homies would pick just like two random kids, any one of us, like you and you, get in the box, and you got to stand toe to toe and just keep going.
I mean, you from
You from the
you from the jungle.
concrete jungle. Well,
I've actually seen somebody get beat up like that, by the way.
should we pull up
What
the
was your stance, bro?
Oh.
Oh, we actually, a virtue card chose us.
Oh, wow. What is it? Should we read it?
I'll read it, yeah. So, first of all, guys,
Pick a camera.
Thanks for watching.
thanks for watching. It's episode 4. If you've made it this far, we really appreciate
We're
it.
friends now.
Leave us some comments, some notes, send Dan the news.
Please subscribe.
My pants are so
Tell your
dirty.
friends to subscribe. We're subscribed to you, in a
Right.
way. You know what I'm saying?
That's poetic.
Yeah.
That was really fucking poetic.
Yeah, questions, comments, questions.
It's really good. We're subscribed.
But, so you read the last virtue card. Maybe we can go around, like every time we can just go around and each
Work.
read.
Yeah, and then Layla gets to read.
And when it's Layla's turn to
That's
read.
going to be a thing.
When it's Layla's turn to read, we'll do like a funny
A
voice.
voiceover.
But this one is beautiful, and it fell onto Greg's lap earlier, or it was the top one,
It
right?
was the top one when everyone was at the heat of their argument.
Yep. And it's the card Tolerance. Tolerance is tolerance helps us to accept differences and frees us from being judgmental. It is recognizing that all people have feelings, needs, hopes, and dreams. Tolerance is an appreciation for diversity, whether of culture or temperament. It leads to unity. It is being patient and forgiving when others make mistakes, while calling on discernment to know when to stand up for justice. Tolerance is accepting things that we wish were different with humor and grace, which is what we're doing on the podcast. It allows us to embrace the pain as well as the joys of life. You feel me? This is actually,
It's pretty good.
yeah, I actually like reading this side, because this is actually the same as the like the practice of tolerance, but it's just like written very well. Yeah, man, it's funny. Tolerance is a funny word, because sometimes I don't like the word tolerance, because in the context of like America and the world, you know, we grew up with like diversity training and stuff like that, and people are just like, you gotta be tolerant of people who are different than you. But whenever I picture someone saying that, it's always a white man talking about like maybe like homosexual people or like black people. Like, oh, you gotta be tolerant of them.
Of the blacks.
You know, they're here,
Yeah.
and you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. But I actually don't like.
What it is.
But I don't like that energy, because I think, especially in 2019, I think we're past that. I think we're at the point where beyond tolerance, let's create real bonds with each other and engage. Because
Yeah.
tolerance doesn't mean engagement.
Yeah, it just means it's okay.
Yeah,
You're here.
You let them do what they do, and we'll
Yeah.
do what we do,
You're
and we'll
here.
be okay. It's like, nah, man, how can we build a bridge?
I think you have to start with tolerance and then you build a bridge.
Yes.
I think tolerance is one of the steps into creating a society that really is, you know, fully functional and you know, united.
Absolutely. But I think tolerance, one of the best ways to teach tolerance is to set an example by going beyond it.
It's interesting because I think we unlearn tolerance. I think we're born innately with the idea. Like when you're a baby and another baby shows up, it looks different. You're not like, oh man, fuck that baby. He looks different. You're just like, oh, I'm tolerant of this person is here. We're gonna, you know, share the space.
I've seen babies on some bridge.
But
Racist.
I feel like we unlearn tolerance through like societal norms and fucking structure and shit like that, and we start to classify and, you know, section ourselves off, and then we have to kind of relearn it and then get to the point of building a bridge.
Yeah.
So we should kind of, you know, remain cognizant that it's already there. It's not something you need to learn. It's already there for you.
What do you guys think of tolerance is being patient and forgiving when others make mistakes, while calling on discernment to know when to stand up for justice? Kelly, I know that struck a chord with you.
Yeah, justice is the most important part of this whole life that we're here on earth experiencing. So I think that like justice is the number one thing that I'm always trying to figure out. Like, as far as it goes for like myself, like is this situation, is everyone here being just to me? Am I being just to others, or others being just to others? And like understanding that and being able to quickly make decisions about that and then move forward in like whatever particular direction. So like that's literally what I'm always working on. And so tolerance is like a part of that. And I think justice is, they like go hand in hand.
That one line sounds like knowing when to dub people.
In other words, yeah.
Know when to dub people.
Pretty much what it means.
Know when to dub. And you know what? Sometimes being tolerant or exercising tolerance in the form of justice is actually a form of love. You know what I'm saying? To that person. Sometimes when you dub someone, it's the best thing you could ever do for them.
Tough love.
You know what I'm saying?
Tough love is the
and
thing.
sometimes, to your point, Kelly, making sure that people are being just to you, also making sure that you're being just to yourself. That's a form of love as well.
Like being fair to yourself. We're all trying every day. So just be fair to yourself. It's okay.
And Kelly tolerates us
Oh.
every day.
That's true.
We're the three amigos over here.
Yo, just move that cup. I feel like that cup was gonna fall the entire episode.
Okay, well.
To that point, I want to say, and for everybody out there who's trying to lose weight this year, don't think about it as dieting. You're taking responsibility for your body.
No, that's right, man.
Self-love.
Then you've lost how much?
The first time it was like 100 and I went to 335 to 170, so whatever that number is.
Wow.
And then I had to do it again, nearly 50 pounds this year.
Then we're gonna have
I'm
to.
gonna feel bad for you, though.
335 to 170.
Then one of these
That's a buck 60.
one of these podcasts we're gonna have to dive
Buck
into
55.
story, man. Because it's inspirational. Yeah.
Bring on, any rappers who lost weight. Bring them on.
And what's the one that
Rick
has the
Ross.
show?
Oh, hey, yeah.
Rick Ross. Which,
Big Boy?
Big Boy.
No, Big Boy's a radio host, but not a rapper. But yeah, Big Boy. Yeah, Big Boy lost a bunch of weight.
Fat Joe.
Fat Joe's another one. Fat Joe lost a bunch of weight. Yeah.
Anyways.
Anyway, well.
Guys, we love you.
And with that, it's 2019, so whatever your goals are, whatever your idea has been for a while, you know, using Van's story, using our story as inspiration, just go for it, man. Just go for it and know that whatever you do, you know, we're with you. The universe is with you. It's a special time we live in. And let us know, man. If you're doing something cool, actually send it to us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Send it to us. We'll put you on. We'll shout you out. Our next episode, we're about to take a little trippy. A little trip.
Flying.
We're going across the pond to the kingdom,
To the shower.
to Britain, and
Thanks, Britain.
absolutely, and we're very excited to have our friend and partner Daniel Sturridge, also Screama, who produced "Making More Love,"
Yes.
in-house
Shout out to
collaborator.
Screama.
Okay, fam, like we're so excited. To
We should probably have Danny as well.
They've been watching the podcast and we talk about them all the time,
Yeah.
so it's like about time that they're
We'll
on.
finally get to meet them and know what they look like, and they won't be these fictitious people that we randomly speak about.
So stay tuned. Stay tuned. It's coming up, man. We got a lot coming up.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Peace.